The first time Iron Man was beaten, he couldn't even stand up. But it wasn't the supervillains who brought him down. Instead, they were comrades in arms who were born and died together. Because Tony just saw a top-secret video, his father was smashed in the head by the Winter Soldier with an iron arm. Even his dying mother had her neck wrung by the Winter Soldiers. His most trusted comrade had been deceiving himself. Who can let go of this hatred? He thought of a trace of old love. Iron Man didn't want to kill him yet. All he did was send 2 cables to bind Captain America firmly. Then he grabbed the Winter Soldier by the throat. Iron Man pinned the Winter Soldier to the wall. He wanted to blow the Winter Soldier's head away with one shot, but the cannon in his palm was crushed by the iron arm of the Winter Soldier. The powerful bomb he hastily raised his hand to launch was also missed by the Winter Soldier. The explosion destroyed the base, and the iron pillar fell right on Tony. Unchained, Captain America let his good brother run. Tony, who got up, chased after the Winter Soldier. But it was smashed by Captain America. Seeing that Bucky was about to escape, Tony fired a missile and closed the exit. Then he subdued Bucky. Captain America pounces. The 3 of them fell to the ground together. Tony was impatient with Captain America. He started throwing punches at Captain America, and Bucky's going to fight with Captain America's shield. In collaboration with Captain America, Tony fought 1 against 2. He was beaten very badly, but he still found an opportunity to blast Captain America. Only the Winter Soldier was left. Tony's pressure plummeted. However, Winter Soldiers were also super soldiers that had been enhanced with serum. He knew he was no match for Tony. He saw the opportunity to directly seize the core reactor of the steel armor. He was broken by Tony's cannonball. Captain America saw that the Winter Soldier had been defeated. He grabbed his shield again and rushed towards Tony. Captain America gains melee advantage after suppressing beams of light. On melee combat, Captain America is obviously much better than Tony. Even the system prompts Tony that melee cannot be won. Fortunately, Tony has embedded combat analysis into the system. After the system scanned Captain America's attack method, the system automatically generates targeted combat strategies. Automatic combat countermeasures by Mecha. And then Bucky distracts Tony. Captain America took the opportunity to sneak attack. He threw Tony to the ground. And then he hammers like crazy. After he smashed the helmet, he was going to set the stage for the battle. He didn't want to kill Tony. He chose to destroy the reactor. He incapacitated Tony. And he picked up Bucky, and he was about to leave. Since then, the 2 giants of the Alliance have completely broken apart. They even divided into 2 factions and started a civil war. It all started after the end of Avengers 2. Just some time ago, the Avengers are on a mission. They waited around every corner for the protagonist to appear. As a garbage truck broke in, the robbery officially began. They were armed to the teeth. They went straight to the Institute of Biology to suppress it. They tried to steal the biological weapons inside. But Captain America has been waiting for a long time. Captain America easily brought down the terrorist guarding the gate. At this time, the terrorist leader successfully reached the inside of the building. He successfully obtained the biological weapon. He thought he would leave without a hitch. When he was about to leave, he was stopped by Black Widow. Don't look at Black Widow as just a woman. She got into a fight. It was pretty fierce. But Black Widow is no match for the leader. She fell into an armored vehicle and was almost fried to a pulp. The leader took aim at Captain America. He blasted Captain America down from the building with one shot. And they went downtown. The terrorists tried to escape through the crowd, but the Eagle's eyes locked on them at a glance. However, when Captain America arrived, they realized it was a terrorist trap. They are in full view. Captain America had a fierce confrontation with the leader. At first, Captain America was beaten back and forth by the leader, but his strength is obvious to all. He broke out his potential and successfully subdued the opponent. But what Captain America never expected was, this guy actually has a bomb hidden on him. Fortunately, Wanda shot in time. She held him in the air and detonated. But due to her operation error, the power of the explosion spread throughout the building, causing many innocent people to suffer heavy casualties, and this story quickly made the news. Even the King of Wakanda condemned it. They believed that the Avengers would cause huge losses every time they went on a mission. He pointed out that at that time, New York and Washington, Sokovia, and other places, and so they asked the UN to come up with rules about alliances. Although many people regard the Avengers as heroes, but there are also many who define the Avengers as dangerous people, so 117 countries came together to create the Sokovia Accord. The content is that the future alliance will no longer be a private organization. All their actions are overseen by specialized United Nations teams. What he means is that the next time the Earth is in danger, it's up to the team to decide whether to save the planet and bear all the damage reasonably. Black Widow says, "What if we don't sign the agreement?" General Ross said he would be forced to retire if he didn't sign, then live an ordinary life. After a private discussion, Captain America believes that once the agreement is signed, the League will lose its freedom from now on. They're at your mercy like a tool. But Tony thinks they should sign the agreement. They should take responsibility for the innocent lives that have been implicated. If they don't accept restrictions, they will become lawless. Each of them has their own point of view. They also start from this moment. The dissenting Avengers were divided into two camps. So at the joint meeting 3 days later, the King of Wakanda was on stage reading the Sokovia Accord. However, just in the middle of the ceremony, Black Panther T'Challa behind him suddenly noticed something unusual. Although he immediately pounced on his father T'Chaka, but he was too late. The building exploded. In an instant, the fire engulfed everything around it. And the old king, T'Chaka, died on the spot. T'Challa watched as his father collapsed in front of him. Black Panther vowed to kill the terrorist himself. Then he waited for the police to release the suspect's information. He found out that this man was Captain America's good brother Bucky, although there is video evidence, but Captain America still doesn't believe it's Bucky. So he found out Bucky's hiding place through his connections. However, when he arrived here, but he found that Bucky had been waiting for a long time. Bucky claims he was not responsible for the bombing. Although Bucky has not fully recovered his memory at this moment, but Captain America still trusted him unconditionally, he was going to run with Bucky. But the next second, a grenade broke through the window. A hatch slowly opened. The smoke dispersed. A man with a unicorn arm suddenly appeared, and he was Captain America's good friend Bucky. After he was captured by the evil organization Hydra, they made him into a Winter Soldier. The plot follows the previous episode. Captain America couldn't believe Bucky was responsible for that bombing, so he went to Bucky's hiding place. When he questioned Bucky, Bucky said innocently that he didn't do it. Before the two of them could react, CIA troops have arrived on the scene. They were ready to bring the Winter Soldiers to justice on the spot. Seeing this, Captain America is also in a dilemma. But he still chose to stand on the side of his friend. However, just then, a large number of police have surrounded the place. They shot straight to the point. They didn't intend to leave any survivors at all. In the face of this dangerous situation, Captain America has joined forces with Bucky. With their strong physique and skilled combat skills, the two of them overwhelmed the enemy. They soon broke through. Throughout the entire battle, and Bucky never killed anybody. This also made Captain America more convinced of his own ideas. Bucky took advantage of Captain America to stall the police. He jumped out of the building decisively, but as soon as he got up and ran away, he was attacked from behind by a black shadow falling from the sky. He was the son of the late King of Wakanda. At this time, T'Challa was wearing a Black Panther suit. He wants to kill the Winter Soldier to avenge his father. The Winter Soldier and the Black Panther fought together. However, the Black Panther, with its strong body and strong strength, he actually suppressed the Winter Soldiers completely. Just then, a helicopter gunship disrupted their battle. The Winter Soldiers who were in danger were able to escape. He saw the opportunity. He came downstairs after a few jumps. Black Panther followed. Bucky picked a lucky viewer at random, grabbed a motorcycle and ran away. Too bad he didn't get far. He was thrown to the ground by the Black Panther's paw. Just as the Panthers were about to kill Bucky, Captain America arrived just in time and stopped him. And eventually Bucky was arrested. Captain America's shield and Black Panther's equipment were all recovered by the government. Tony still wants to persuade Captain America to sign the agreement, but he had just experienced the scene of being dominated. Captain America became even more determined. Tony had a huge fight with him. Their conflict escalated again, and Bucky was being evaluated by a psychiatrist. Who knew that the next second the whole building suddenly lost power? Psychiatrists get weird too. He pulled out an old diary. Then he chanted a mysterious spell on Bucky. It turned out that after Bucky had undergone the Hydra transformation before, they put a program in Bucky's head. As long as they chant this spell, Bucky will gradually lose his mind. He burst through the handcuffs with all his strength. He violently transformed again. When Captain America and the Falcon arrived, Bucky had long since lost consciousness. He shot without mercy. Captain America was instantly thrown into the elevator by him. He walks up to the crowd ready to kill. Tony saw this and joined the battle. Tony, who had no armor, was knocked to the ground by Bucky. Neither Black Widow nor Black Panther could stop Bucky from killing the Red-Eyed. Then Bucky came to the rooftop. He was about to escape in a helicopter, and Captain America makes it to the roof. He pulled the plane down. Captain America's body does make your mouth water. Bucky saw that this was not the way to go. He was driving the plane and suddenly there were waves of tail twitching. Finally, the two of them crashed directly into the river with the plane. Bucky was knocked unconscious. This time, Captain America rescued Bucky. Then, he took Falcon and Bucky to an abandoned factory. The fight stimulated Bucky's brain to restore himself, and he remembered all the memories he had been manipulated with. Bucky said there were more than one Winter Soldier like him. Each one is a trained elite. The purpose of the psychiatrist was to release all the Winter Soldiers to riot. If he succeeds, the consequences will be disastrous. Here, General Ross is ready to go after Captain America. Tony still protects Captain America. Tony offered to give him 72 hours. He must bring back Captain America. Black Widow said she wanted to capture Captain America and Bucky Falcon alive. With their current team, it is very difficult. So Tony thought of a helper. He found the boy he had accidentally saved. Now he was on his own. But Captain America on the other side was also not idle. He asked Carter's niece to help bring out his and Falcon's confiscated equipment. Unexpectedly, Carter's niece was also taken by him. Then he enlisted the help of Hawkeye and Wanda, who were better related to him. He also recruited Scott the Ant-Man. He wants to use this team to stop the Winter Soldiers who are about to be awakened. However, Tony has also found the position of Captain America. Then they both had their own ideas. They were intransigent. A civil war for the Avengers began. This is also Spider-Man's first appearance in the Avengers. What Tony didn't expect was, this guy is a big talker. As soon as he came out, he wouldn't stop talking. Then Hawkeye helped Captain America untie the spider silk. Ant-Man also secretly recaptured the shield. At this point, the first wave of civil war in the League officially began. Black Panther and Rhodes are playing Captain America. But his Genjin suit is too fierce. Even Captain America's shield was scratched by him. Ant-Man versus Black Widow. Ant-Man says, "Get out of the way." He said no to hitting women. And he gets kicked by Black Widow. Ant-Man instantly gave Black Widow a shoulder throw. Spider-Man is responsible for stopping Falcon and Bucky. He flew and kicked the Falcon to the ground with one kick. Bucky stepped forward and wanted to throw a punch back. He was easily picked up by Spider-Man. The Falcon wanted to take advantage of his flight to attack Spider-Man. Instead, his craft was sabotaged by Spider-Man. Then he shot 2 more rounds of spider silk. He trapped the Falcon firmly on the railing. Spider-Man easily solved Captain America's 2 helpers by himself. It's really hard not to love. And Tony's side is intercepting Hawkeye and Wanda with missiles. As a result, he was hit by a car controlled by Wanda with magic. Ant-Man sees Captain America being beaten by 2 people. He threw a magnified dart at Rod and the 2 of them. Captain America threw a card at him. Captain America and the others wanted to evacuate as soon as possible. They were stopped again by the coming vision. So far, all 12 superheroes are in place. The second round of the 6-6 Civil War broke out again. Black Panther wants revenge on Bucky. The 2 of them shot mercilessly. Hawkeye and Black Widow frowned. When Black Widow wanted to take advantage of the opportunity to kill Hawkeye, Wonder saved him. Although Spider-Man claims to be a fan of Captain America, but this kid started without mercy at all, he tried to tie up Captain America again. But Captain America is by no means an idle person. He no longer showed mercy to this kid. Ant-Man again hides at the Eagle's Eye arrow. He managed to get into Tony's armor. He went berserk. The intelligent butler had to activate the fire suppression system. He just drove Ant-Man out of his armor. Ant-Man is very unconvinced. He leaped onto Rhodes. Then he adjusted the suit parameters. He turned into a giant and grabbed Rhodes by the leg with one hand. He threw Rod out. The little spider pulled him back in time. Ant-Man disassembles the machine again and throws it at Tony. Black Panther was almost kicked to death by him. Helpless. Everyone can only join forces to deal with this little giant first. Spider-Man and Rhodes did a combination. Ant-Man took the van and smashed it to the ground. Spider-Man took the opportunity to wrap around him like crazy. He then combined with the combined strike of the 2 Iron Men. Ant-Man finally lost his fighting power. Captain America's Winter Soldier took advantage of the chaos and fled to the hangar, and Black Widow has obviously been waiting a long time, after some persuasion. Black Widow took down the chasing Panther with one shot. Black Widow managed to free Captain America and the others. Tony and Rod chase after Captain America's plane. Falcon followed close behind to help. Captain America fired several shells at Rhodes. Rhodes hurriedly asked Vision to support. I saw a Vision shoot a laser cannon. A Falcon dodges, and it hits Rod. And he plummeted downwards, and Tony swerved to the rescue. But in the end, Rhodes still fell to the ground violently. The Falcon rushed to apologize. He was knocked out by Tony. After being inspected, although Rhodes saved his life, but the lower body is paralyzed. And only this battle, the Alliance also completely disintegrated. Captain America and his gang are all wanted criminals. Just as Tony was about to go to General Ross's secret base, he received an investigation report into the attack. It turned out that the psychiatrist Zemo was the mastermind behind the scenes. The attack was carried out by him wearing a Bucky mask, and that psychiatrist is also a fake. The original psychiatrist was killed by spies in the hotel long ago. Only then did Tony realize. It turns out that what Captain America said is true. Subsequently, Tony went to the basement cell. He visits imprisoned superheroes. He learned from the Falcon the destination of Captain America, and Tony was going to help Captain America. At this moment, a door slowly opened. Captain America and the others were surprised to find that Tony had arrived, but Tony wasn't there to catch them. He decided to join forces against Zemo. Captain America and the others also lowered their guard. They went deep into the center of the base with Tony. Little did they realize that the Panther had come. What they didn't expect was, the frozen winter soldiers were all shot in the head. It must have just happened. The next second, Zemo appeared in the isolation cabin. Captain America's shield can't break glass either. Zemo said his entire family died tragically during the Sokovia War. He knew that even if he woke up the winter soldiers, he would not be able to avenge the Alliance. So that wasn't the goal in the first place. His goal is to break the Alliance completely. He blamed Bucky first. This means is just foreshadowing. His real killer move is this video in front of him. Tony saw with his own eyes the video in which Bucky killed Tony's biological parents. And his main concern now is whether Captain America knew. Yes, Captain America's answer made Tony feel like the sky was falling, so he could no longer care about the friendship of the past. Today, he must take revenge. Tony takes down Captain America with one punch. Then he stretched his fist to Bucky, who was by the side. He was going to kill it completely. He was hit in the head by a flying shield. Tony went back and fired the bondage chain to trap it. He grabbed Bucky by the neck and held him firmly. He wanted to settle the battle directly with one shot, but his palm was crushed by Bucky's iron arm. He hurriedly fired the missile and was blocked by Bucky's hand. The result was a powerful explosion. The facility was severely damaged. Tony was forced to let go of Bucky. Captain America, who broke free, hurriedly called Bucky to run away. He himself was entangled with Tony. Tony continued to chase after Bucky with his damaged left leg. He first kicked it to the ground. He then added a hand cannon, but it was stopped in time by Captain America, who arrived. Tony got up to pursue. He was strangled by Captain America behind him. The two of them fell heavily to the ground. However, when Tony got up, he immediately launched a missile. He blocked Bucky's escape route completely. Seeing that it has become a dead end, Captain America is still trying to find a peaceful solution. He persuaded Tony to put aside his hatred. After saying that, the two of them scuffled together again. However, Captain America without a shield was no match for Tony. In the face of Tony's aggression, he was beaten. And Bucky arrived just in time. He hit hard. He solved Captain America's urgent need. Captain America, armed with his shield, rushed up in blood. In the face of a 2-on-1 situation, Tony was struggling. Soon he was pinned against the wall by Bucky. Bucky tried to pull out his reactor. Unexpectedly, Tony released a powerful energy cannon on his chest. He literally broke Bucky's arm. This also completely angered Captain America. He charged forward with his shield. Now that Captain America has the upper hand, Tony immediately asked the armor system to analyze Captain America's combat rules. Then, he was under the control of the system. Tony started to fight back. He slams Captain America's shield to the side. And Tony went crazy on him. Just as Tony was about to fire the energy cannon at him, Bucky, who collapsed to the ground, hugged Tony's leg just in time, and Captain America fought back. He raised it high and slammed it to the ground. Then he sat on Tony and punched him hard left and right. Finally, he smashed Tony's reactor hard with his shield. Tony also lost his last fighting power, and Captain America leaves with Bucky. And the Black Panther who followed did not join the battle. Then he found Zemo outside the base. He stopped Zemo from committing suicide, and the Panthers took him back to the UN. And Rod got back on his feet with Tony's help. On the way, Tony received a letter from Captain America. In another letter, Captain America apologized to Tony. He told Tony he was proud to be in the League. He also promised Tony that if he encountered any difficulties, he will definitely help. He left Tony a flip phone. And finally, Captain America goes to prison and rescues the Falcon Wanda crowd. He took Bucky to Wakanda. In order to avoid being controlled again, Bucky had to choose to sleep temporarily. Until there is a way to clear the brain of things, he can wake up again. The movie ends here.